Hello and welcome to Feudalism. So this is a game I got on Keymailer the other week, and I think it's sort of a 4x sort of strategy kind of game. It is in quite an early state, and the options menu is pretty weak, even having resolution options going off the screen. So I had to keep changing it up and up and up until I could eventually find my resolution. So not ideal, not very good at all really. Then I tried the tutorial. That was terrible. It made the whole screen kind of black, so I couldn't see quite what it was indicating me to do. All the information that was on the screen, it just allowed me to click things, and some of the things that I clicked on didn't even work. So I didn't really learn anything from the tutorial. So I decided to create my own game, a peaceful thing where I'm the only player, there's no AIs at all, and it's on easiest difficulty. So here is the game. I can zoom in and out a bit. It's kind of cool. Doesn't run particularly well. The game is currently running at 10 FPS. I don't know why, and I'm moving around by clicking the mouse clicking down the mouse and dragging, or I can use W, S and D to move really slowly. Again, there's no options for scroll speeds or anything like that, or even control options. So I can select land by clicking on it, or middle clicking on it, or right clicking on it, and they all do exactly the same thing. So I started off with one village, which was this one. Has 2,000 population, medium kind of thing, and had most buildings made. Had space for 2 more buildings. So you build things by going onto this, and here are the buildings, here are your units, and yeah, and here's your upgrades to your buildings. So early on you'll want to expand and get new villages. So you make these colony cart things, builders, and then you tell them to go onto a piece of land. As you can see, some of these have little icons around them. This is where you can build villages, and the number of houses means how how spacious it is and how big the village can expand. For example, this one is tiny. This can only have a maximum of 5 buildings on it, so I can't really do anything with it, which is a bit annoying. This was my next village that I created. It's had 5 things, so it had a maximum population of 8,000. However, I have a population of 37, and that is after 90 minutes of game time. I think I've played for like 40 years or something. I think that's 40 turns or something like that. It only has basically the starting amount of people which came across, plus it's breeding at 12% a year. Now I did create some things from this, so it went down to 4 population at one point, which was terrible. So this was my next largest village, and that's currently at 119. Now I think there's a way to transfer people from one village to another. However, I cannot find it. It was briefly sort of mentioned in the tutorial that you may want to do that, but I cannot find how. So let's have a look at the things. So we have these lands. So these are all the different lands in this region. These are all the villages that I have created in this region. Then we have units. I've made a couple. You can click on them and it takes you to them. That's about it. You don't get any options apart from that. On the unit options, you pretty much all of them, so even this miner has like an attack option, and a cargo option, whatever that means, patrol options, sentry, resupply, which is exactly the same as an infantryman. So yeah. Then we have construction queues, which just is all the construction queues at my current villages. I don't have any at the moment really, because I was just skipping ending and turns, trying to build up stuff quickly. Then we have this bit, which I'll come back to in a second. Then we have research. This allows you to get more buildings, and I didn't do any of this at the start because you start off with a really low number, about 2,000, and obviously this costs 200,000. So I thought I'm not going to be able to do any of it. But if you click on it, so let's do troop production, it will do a certain amount per turn. So it will do that much per turn until it reaches the total amount. So obviously I can do this in one go because I've now got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of research labs to get a huge amount of research points, so I can do that instantly. So if we add on that as well, that also will take a single turn. Let's add on this huge thing. Maybe I don't want that because for some reason that says it's going to take 266 turns. I don't believe that because it's only 225, so that should be like 4 or 5 turns. Yeah, this game is very early on, very early. Anyway, next we have diplomacy, which normally it would go and show allies, enemies, and neutral people. And they'd have different profile pictures, and depending on their colour of line depends what their stance is to you. And then you can click on them and do trading and do a bunch of other things. And there's quite a lot of stuff you can do there. So yeah, it would go and show the thing, and yeah. And there's lots of graphs and various other things, scores, comparisons, and I can't see where the graphs have gone. Seems to have disappeared, which is a bit weird. Anyway, next we have our log, which is basically this thing down the side. I'm clicking and dragging to scroll through that. This takes you to it. So basically there's no other way to scroll through this. Now that's another big issue I've got with this early alpha thingy, is there's no scroll bars. You cannot use the scroll wheel to go up and down this. You've got to be dragging things around. Again, that's a sort of a case with the resolution options. There's no scroll bar on that. You have to just go down. Maybe I could have clicked and dragged to go up and down on it a bit, but I didn't try that. But you'll sometimes be clicking things. So if I have a menu open, let's say a village, and I move this over here, click X. It didn't happen that time, but quite often you'll be clicking around and it will just randomly select areas. So I'll be clicking the end turn button and I'll select an area down here and I'll get this pop up on my screen, which you can't move around. So yeah, again also with this, if we go into this thing, there's no way to get back to that previous menu. Yeah, you can't go back. You have to close it and then open it up again, which again is annoying and something which should be improved. Then we have status, which has more graphs and things, family options, and is this a options menu? This appears to be the options menu, this family options thing. I don't want it to display that. Yeah, this is the options menu. This is a weird place to stick it. Why stick it in family options? That is weird. Unit orders, unit movement. Let's turn that off, I think. Well, actually, no, I'll keep it on for now. So yeah, I've just figured out the options menu. Why would it be called family options? No idea. Is families? Yeah, family options. Yeah. Okay. Weird. Then you have children. So I started off as this guy. He then had 2 children. One girl, one boy. He then died, and he became the heir, which is quite lucky by the looks of things, given when he's died and when he was born. Although it's actually there is a point next to it because it's not full years that each turn is. Maybe it's only a 10th of a year that you play each time, because I know there's seasons and stuff. So yeah, he became king, and he's had lots of children, which is good because if you don't have any heirs to the throne, you lose and your family dies out. The thing is, apart from like obviously getting your family members killed somehow, and well, they don't actually exist, so they can't exactly die out in combat or something like that. But you can't choose to get married and things like that. So this whole family tree and losing potentially is completely random. So I'm not a fan of that. Hopefully they add in some mechanic for that. Oh yeah, you can also go and give them each traits. It says what they're based around. No idea what it does. No information whatsoever of what that does. I clicked X and it's taking me to that. Right. And I've got waypoints. I don't know how waypoints work. Set waypoints, you click somewhere, no information pops up. Bit weird. Strategies, this is for combat, I think. All this thing is combat-y, so I've not tried this out. Maybe the combat system is fleshed out a little bit. But since this game is in such early alpha, I thought I'd make sort of a video about it rather than showing too much of it. Repair priorities, I've not done any repairing. Then there's a change email and change password thing. No idea what that's about, because I've not given my email or my password, because I've got this game on Steam. So, no idea what that's about. And then finally we've got end turn. So if I click end turn, I was sure that I turned that off in my options. You all saw that. Right. So that options menu doesn't even work. Okie dokie. So, logbook. We researched that thing. Yeah, now it's saying 5 turns, which is correct. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Then there's all our things. And here's our villagers. So the last little thing that I'm going to show you of the alpha is, so you see that this is like our area. There will be, I imagine, multiple people. There's different types of terrain, so this is a random travel gate for some reason, so I imagine you can close it off to certain people, and there might be other people in the realm. Doesn't say what this thing is, it looks like a graveyard and stuff. But maybe these things later will have interactions, like it just says remotely mined. You don't actually do anything to do with it. But hey. So, but outside the square, there are more squares. Lots more squares. This is my village, this is where I've explored. I can't zoom out or anything, I have to just drag around. And you'll see that this is a map of Europe. So here's Italy, Spain, France, tiny bit of England, well I guess that's most of England, and Wales, and then going over to maybe Russia. I don't know whether Russia quite reaches there, probably not. So yeah, this is the land that I own. And then this is another piece of land. So if I travel here, there's my land. So here is another piece of land, which I think is probably randomly generated. I have created one village here. Nothing in the village. Well, I think this is my village. It was my village. No options are coming up for my village. Did it die? Maybe that's not my village. Maybe that's just a mine. I was sure that I said to make a village somewhere around here. I think it was on here that I said to make a village, actually. No village is showing up because I sent a builder across here to make something, and now nothing has happened. But yeah, so you can explore lots of different squares, and I imagine there'll be different squares owned by different families. And obviously you don't really need to take over all of them, as these ones with like a single house, they're pretty rubbish. So it seems kind of 4X-y, fairly straightforward, fairly basic at the moment. They need to change quite a lot, as there is the potential to make it quite a lot more complicated. But I don't know. I need to fix a lot of things though. So I probably won't be making another video on this game for a while. Hopefully it will get improved on quite a bit. But I love this theme, and another game in this genre I would love to go and play. If it was slightly simpler, I don't want a sort of paradox kind of game which are so complicated and take up so much time. I want to be able to drop in and take over a square or something, and that would be alright and quite good, I think. So yeah, that is Feudalism. Currently, I don't think it's out yet. This is an early alpha, and I don't think there's any set confirmed date of when it's coming out of alpha. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.